Hi, we're back, and of course we have some more wonderful Tacoma people with us today from Tacoma Little Theatre. They are putting together a show from the Mississippi Delta, and we're here to talk to their education team as well as the director and actor from the show. I'm very excited to be hosting you today. Thanks for coming.
Thank you for having us.
Thank you.
Yes. So, Michelle, you are the director of From the Mississippi Delta.
Yes.
Can you tell us what made you recommend that this show be part of the TLT season?
Well, I actually had the pleasure of performing in this show 29 years ago at the Oregon Shakespeare Festival in Ashland.
Wow.
And I got an opportunity to meet the playwright, which was a wonderful experience. She was an amazing woman, and it has just always been one of my favorite shows, and I've always wanted to do it. And I'm so excited to be able to work on it at TLT and work with Whitney and the rest of the cast.
Wow, that's amazing. You don't often get to meet the playwright of a show, so
Right.
what a special play. I guess it just stuck with you.
It was wonderful. It really stuck with me
Amazing.
all this time. And when Chris came to me about the opportunity of directing, this was the first thing that came to my mind, and I'm very excited to be doing it.
That's so great. And Whitney, you are part of the cast.
Yes.
So what made you want to audition and be part of this show?
Theater's been a huge part of my life for years, and as a transplant, I was really looking to get my feet back into the theater space. So I saw the auditions online, and I think what really spoke to me is that it was an all African-American cast, and then we had an African-American director and a woman director, which isn't something that you get to experience often. And I was like, oh, this is the moment.
Yeah.
This is it. We're gonna go for it. And Michelle has been a dream. I could not ask for a better director, and the rest of my castmates have been fantastic. Like, their energy is just infectious. They're willing to just work and try and play, and so it's been a great experience.
That's wonderful. So you're a transplant from?
I moved here from Atlanta, actually.
Okay,
Yes.
Atlanta, Georgia.
Yes.
And what was the audition process like for both of you?
I'll let you go first.
Well, actors, for the auditions, actors come in, and initially you have them read a monologue or a story. What I asked them to do was either a monologue or a story, either a personal story or even a child's, fairy tale, whatever they wanted to do, but something that would show me their movement ability. And so, I watched and saw what they did, and I usually ask actors to then give me something to do the same thing with a different intention. And after that, we have callbacks where the actors come back and they actually read from the script. And we try a few different things and, see what direction it goes in. And,
See how they mesh.
Yeah, see how they mesh, and giving them direction a little bit as they're working through things, and see what they can bring to the script.
Amazing. So can you tell me a little bit about Dr. Holland's life and how the cast is going to bring that to life on stage?
Well, the play is a biography of her life, and she was born in 1944 in Greenwood, Mississippi, and in the Mississippi Delta, and it was a hard life. A lot of poverty, and she worked in the cotton fields, and her mother died, and they believe it was the Ku Klux Klan that broke into the house and destroyed the house and set it on fire, and her mother was in the house at the time. So her life was challenging. She was into prostitution for a while, but eventually was able to rise above it. And it all started when she got involved with the Student Nonviolent Coordinating Committee, or commonly known as SNCC, and during the Civil Rights Movement, and it really turned her life around. So, she eventually went to college and got her BA, and then her MA, and then a PhD. So
incredible. And so, when audiences come and see this, what do you want them to take with them when they leave?
Well, first of all, that this is a human story. It's a story of the struggle of people in general, and what she had to go through, and what she had to rise above to better herself. And we all have stories. History is just our stories written down. It's everybody's stories. And
Within
I'm hoping,
the context, yes.
yes, and I'm hoping that people take away that we have more similarities than we have differences. And that our lives are born out of, you know, the things that are going on around us. And we take it in and we try and deal with it to the best of our ability. And hopefully we learn and we grow and we move forward. But we all have a common thread, and that is trying to better ourselves through the course of our life with what we've been placed into. And sometimes that's not an easy thing to do, but a lot of people go through that.
Yeah,
you
and
know,
that's
have
why
difficult
sharing
circumstances.
these stories is so important.
Yes.
Through all kinds of mediums.
Yes, and just knowing we all have struggles,
Yeah.
and that we can all, you know, manage to, with help from our friends.
Yeah,
with, you know,
solidarity and
yeah,
resilience.
that the people who come into our lives can assist in taking us to a higher level.
This sounds like an incredible play. So
It is.
can't wait to see it, and I can't wait for our viewers to see it as well. Thank you so much
Thank
for
you.
sharing. And so, Stephanie, you're here to talk about the education program at TLT so that our young people can someday become directors, actors, and members of our community. So can you share a little bit about what's happening with education at TLT right now?
Yeah, absolutely. Right now, we've got a group of kids coming after school every day to work on a show. Part of the philosophy at TLT is that we learn best by doing. So, yes, our kids will be future actors and directors, but they are right now as well. So they're acting. One of our after-school programs is even collaboratively writing the piece that they're going to perform.
Cool.
It's been really fun to watch this group of kids spark up their creativity together and work together to create a spectacular show. And then that'll go for a few more weeks, and then it'll be time for summer. And we've got programs coming this summer as well.
Great. So it sounds like you have Spam-A-Lot, which I know is a favorite with our high schoolers. And is that the only program you have for the summer?
It currently is the only one that's still enrolling.
Oh, wow.
We have a couple of other camps that are happening, but they've filled up, and we've got robust waiting lists, trying to get as many kids in as possible.
Wow.
So that's really wonderful to see that our community wants programs and is interested in performing and learning about theater arts during the summer. But Spam-A-Lot for our teen audience is still enrolling, and so hopefully we'll get some more friends in to make that a really full show.
There are spots still available for Spam-A-Lot.
Yes.
Okay, that's good. And can you tell us about what's coming up next year?
Absolutely, I can. In our main stage season, which has been announced, you can find the whole list on our website. We start the season with One Man, Two Governors, directed by Blake York, which I'm very excited for. It sounds like he and Michelle have a few things in common as far as leaning into the lighthearted comedy of stories. Of course, that one won't be quite as heavy or deal with quite as many complex issues as on the Mississippi Delta. And our season ticket holders are starting to renew their tickets. So those are available right now. And educationally, we have after-school classes coming up in the fall, as well as all of our break camps during all of our school breaks.
That's great. And what are some of the other skills kids are learning?
Ooh, that's a great question. They're learning a lot of soft skills and social and emotional skills, how to collaborate well together, how to listen, how to value the stories that they're telling, how to create a character and use all of their resources. As actors, we have ourselves, our history, our bodies, our voices. And so kids walk away with a lot more confidence when they try out theater arts. And it's always interesting to see which kids come back because of those skills. Maybe kids that never had an interest in theater arts or acting, but they get on stage and they hear their voice and they feel more confident in who they are. And so it's really about whole person development.
I love that.
Yeah.
As a theater kid myself. And then Whitney, you mentioned that theater has been around, you've been involved in theater for a long time. So did you start when you were a child?
Yes, I actually did my first show when I was 6.
Oh, wow.
I'm originally from Virginia,
Okay.
and with the Virginia Opera Company, they would go around to like different schools, particularly elementary schools. And so I got to do Sleepy Hollow with them.
Amazing.
And I got the proverbial bug. Did it all through middle school, high school, was a theater major in college.
Oh, wow.
Did community theater in Atlanta.
And here you are in Tacoma.
And here I am
about
in Tacoma.
to open
I was
from the Mississippi Delta.
very, very excited.
Yes.
Appreciate Michelle for giving me
Yes.
the opportunity
Incredible.
to jump in, because it has been a phenomenal ride. Like I
Yes.
said, cast is fantastic. Michelle really has given us the space to just play and create and try, which is like the bread and butter of theater. And that's really, it's how you connect to your audience, how to connect to your castmates. So I'm excited. I can't wait. Opening
Yes.
night is Friday.
Okay, well,
on.
we cannot
Yes.
wait to see it. Thank you so much. Thank you for sharing all of your
Thank you.
talents and what you're doing in Tacoma to tell these stories. Thank you so much for joining us. That was our friends from Tacoma Little Theatre. So we're going to break, but we'll be right back.